Your rent cleared. The electric bill is paid. The minimum payment went through. There is still money in the account, and for one quiet moment, it looks like you are finally okay. Then the check engine light comes on, or your phone rings with a medical bill, or your work schedule loses 2 shifts. And suddenly, the question is not, did I pay everything this month? It is, am I safe yet? Because if one unexpected cost can erase the progress you thought you made, you may not be stable. You may only be current. That is the invisible line most people are trying to cross without realizing it exists. From the outside, struggling and stable can look almost identical. Both people may work, pay rent, and appear to have life under control. But one is using this month's income to keep this month alive. The other has enough space that a problem does not immediately become a crisis. That space explains why paying every bill can still leave you feeling stuck. There are 4 financial positions people often confuse. The first is surviving. Surviving is when the month does not fully fit inside the money. Something gets delayed, borrowed, split, ignored, or carried forward. You are not deciding where money goes. You are deciding which pressure gets answered first. Then there is being current. Current means the bills are paid right now. The account may even have a little money left, but that money is waiting for groceries, gas, or the part of the month that has not arrived yet. Being current means today is handled. It does not mean tomorrow is protected. Then comes stable. Stable means the month can absorb some friction. A repair does not automatically go on a credit card. A smaller paycheck does not immediately threaten rent. A necessary purchase does not force 3 other bills to move. You may still dislike the expense, but your entire financial life does not collapse around it. And after stability comes building. Building is when money is no longer used only to defend your current life. It starts buying assets, reducing long-term obligations, or creating choices that are impossible when every dollar is needed for survival, or creating choices that are impossible when every dollar is needed for survival. The mistake is thinking these stages are separated only by income. Income matters, but the invisible line is usually created by 4 things working together: emergency cash, low fixed costs, controlled debt, and dependable income. Take away one, and someone who looks stable can become exposed quickly. That is why an unexpected expense reveals more than a normal month. A normal month follows the plan. An unexpected expense tests the structure underneath it. The Federal Reserve found that 59% of adults had at least one major unexpected expense in 2025. The most common was a major vehicle repair or replacement. The unexpected month is not rare. For many people, it is part of normal financial life wearing a different name. The repair does not care that you paid every bill on time or improved your credit score. It simply asks one question: where will the money come from? If the answer is savings, the problem costs what it costs. If the answer is a credit card, a delayed bill, borrowed money, or a future paycheck, the same problem begins charging you in other ways: interest, stress, less room next month, and sometimes another reset. Emergency cash is not just money for emergencies. It is money that stops one event from spreading into the rest of your life. The Federal Reserve also reported that 63% of adults could cover a $400 emergency using cash, savings, or a credit card paid off at the next statement. But only 55% said they had enough set aside to cover 3 months of expenses. A small shock and a long interruption are 2 different tests. Passing one does not mean you are ready for the other. This is where many people misread their position. They see $1,000 in the bank and think, I finally have extra money. But if rent, transportation, insurance, food, and minimum payments consume nearly everything they earn, that $1,000 is not truly extra. It is standing between them and the next interruption. The amount in the account matters, but the amount your life requires every month matters just as much. Fixed costs decide how expensive it is for you to exist before you make a new decision. Housing, transportation, insurance, debt payments, childcare, and contracts that quietly became permanent. Recent Bureau of Labor Statistics data show that housing and transportation alone accounted for more than half of average household spending. Stability is often decided before the small purchases people feel guilty about even begin. Two people can earn the same paycheck and live completely different financial lives. One needs $4,800 every month just to keep everything moving. The other needs $3,200. The first person may look more successful with a better apartment and a newer car, but the second can lose income, handle a repair, or save faster because less of each paycheck arrives already spoken for. Status can make a life look stable, while fixed costs make it easy to break. Debt creates the same illusion. A good credit score can help someone qualify for more, but qualification is not stability. Every payment attached to the past reduces the amount of today's income that can protect the future. The problem is not simply having debt. The problem is when the minimums become so large that every surprise has to become new debt. Old decisions consume the margin that could have prevented the next decision from being financed. Income consistency is the fourth part of the line. A high income that changes wildly can feel less stable than a moderate income that arrives predictably. If hours fluctuate, commissions move, contracts end, or overtime carries the month, your stability number must account for the weak month, not only the strong one. People often build their lifestyle around their best recent income. Then they call it an emergency when income returns to normal. Real stability is built around what reliably arrives, not what occasionally appears. This is the deeper pattern. Struggling is not always about earning too little. Sometimes it is about having no distance between what life requires and what life can suddenly take. That distance is your margin. Emergency cash gives the margin time. Low fixed costs make it wider. Debt control stops it from belonging to the past. Income consistency makes it easier to trust. Stability is not having money today. Stability is knowing one problem will not erase your progress. So the practical goal is not to chase a vague feeling of being better with money. It is to define your stability number. Start with the amount your life absolutely needs for 1 month, not your ideal month. Write down the costs that keep you housed, working, insured, fed, and current on required payments. That is your monthly survival number. Then decide how many months of interruption your life needs protection from. A household with secure income may choose a smaller buffer. Variable income or one income supporting a family may require more time. Multiply your monthly survival number by that recovery period. Then add the cost of one realistic shock your life is likely to face. The car repair, insurance deductible, family trip, or appliance that keeps making that sound. That total is your stability number. Now subtract the cash you already have set aside. The difference is not proof that you failed. It is your stability gap. A clear gap is easier to solve than a constant feeling of, I should be doing better. Next, protect that money from your checking account. Money sitting beside rent, food, and everyday spending is forced to defend itself every day. Move stability money into a separate savings account and automate the transfer soon after income arrives. It is not about hiding money. It is about stopping, this month from negotiating with money, meant to protect the next one. Then examine fixed cost before attacking every small pleasure. One cancelled coffee will not rescue a lifestyle that requires almost the entire paycheck to remain intact. Look for obligations that repeatedly reduce your room, a car payment, housing that depends on overtime, financed upgrades, or minimum payments that keep growing. Reducing one permanent cost can create more stability than repeatedly trying to behave perfectly. Finally, use extra money to strengthen the structure in the right order. A bonus, refund, raise, or unusually strong month should not automatically become a permanent lifestyle upgrade. First, close the most dangerous part of the stability gap. Then reduce the debt payment, restricting your monthly margin. Only after the base becomes harder to break should more money be asked to build wealth. Because investing, while every small emergency becomes debt, can feel like moving forward and backward at the same time. You are not behind because you did not know the exact number. Most people are told to pay bills, protect their credit, and save whatever they can. Very few are shown how to tell the difference between being caught up and being secure. You are not trying to look rich. You are trying to become harder to break. And once you cross that invisible line, money begins to feel different. A repair is still annoying, and a job problem is still serious, but neither becomes immediate surrender. You stop treating every dollar in savings like money waiting to be taken. Some of it finally becomes proof that your life has room. Once you understand the difference between surviving, being current, and becoming stable, the next question becomes what your money should do after it no longer has to protect every emergency. Because stability keeps you from restarting, but ownership is what begins moving you forward. That is what the next video breaks down. If this made you look at money differently, subscribe to Fiscal Sense, because this channel breaks down the hidden money patterns that keep hardworking people stuck, and the quiet shifts that help money finally become stability.